I'll remember that.
Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're looking at 15 films for every president following World War II. For this list, we'll be going chronologically through each president's term and selecting one film that defines each era.
We thought we might start a chain reaction that would destroy the entire world.
Harry S. Truman, The Best Years of Our Lives. Following FDR's death during the final year of World War II, his former vice president, Truman, oversaw the country's return to peacetime and witnessed the transition of its veterans. Those coming home, and Truman himself, would have to adjust to the new status quo, and no film better captured that whiplash than The Best Years of Our Lives. The movie followed 3 veterans returning and readjusting to their civilian lives and the unexpected struggles that came with the transition.
Go out!
Fred!
Go out!
Fred, wake up! Wake up!
Keep burning up! You're gonna hit the out!
It's all right, Fred. Go back to sleep.
The performances of the returning men, as well as the families they returned to, struck a chord with audiences at the time, and the film won 7 competitive Oscars, including Best Picture and Best Supporting Actor for non-professional actor, veteran, and amputee Harold Russell.
Oh, don't, I'll carry it. What's the matter, Ma?
It's nothing.
It's just that your ma's so glad to see you home.
Yeah, I know.
Dwight D. Eisenhower, On the Waterfront.
I could have been a contender. I could have been somebody.
By the time Eisenhower was sworn in, the Cold War was in full swing, with tensions between the United States and the Soviet Union reaching a boiling point. McCarthyism had swept the US, and distrust and tensions between citizens was at an all-time high. This was especially true in Hollywood. Testimonies were made at the House Un-American Activities Committee, outing supposed communists, with people like director Elia Kazan naming names. The backlash from these actions led to Kazan directing On the Waterfront, a tale of corruption and weighing the benefits of standing up to powerful organizations.
Listen, if I were you, I would walk right... Never mind. I'm not asking you to do anything. It's your own conscience that's got to do the asking.
As the CIA was enacting coups and installing dictatorships across the world, with Eisenhower's go-ahead, the film mirrored the loss of trust in institutions that many felt.
They got Charlie.
Terry, I'm frightened. Let's get out of here, please. First Joey and then Dugan, and now Charlie and next... Please, Terry, someplace where we can live in peace.
John F. Kennedy, To Kill a Mockingbird.
All men are created equal.
Although it was set decades earlier, the trial where Atticus Finch, played by Gregory Peck, defends a falsely accused black man, Tom, perfectly captured the tensions present in the civil rights movement. It's not difficult to draw parallels between Finch and JFK, who would become a pioneer for civil rights and an icon of hope for the country at large. Both classically handsome men and talented orators, the fictional story involving Atticus and the real-life presidency of Kennedy ended in tragedy.
Atticus! Hey, Atticus.
Jim, go home and take Scout and Dill home with you. Son, I said go home.
No, sir.
Just as calamity befell Tom after the trial, Kennedy was assassinated before the Civil Rights Act he championed was passed in 1964.
I'm no idealist. To believe firmly in the integrity of our courts and of our jury system. That's no ideal to me. That is a living, working reality.
Lyndon B. Johnson, In the Heat of the Night.
Did you question this man before you brought him in?
No, sir.
Do you mind taking a look at that? Yeah! Oh, yeah!
After unexpectedly succeeding JFK, Texas Democrat LBJ continued the latter's racial reforms. This came during a time when much of his native South was fighting these reforms. Perhaps no actor better captured the moment during the Civil Rights era than Sidney Poitier. His film, Guess Who's Coming to Dinner, saw him in an interracial couple and the struggles that came with older generation accepting that.
Well, I don't think I'm going to faint. But I'll sit down anyway.
In the same year, he portrayed Philadelphia detective Mr. Tibbs, investigating a Mississippi murder in the Heat of the Night. Seen as lesser because of the color of his skin, Tibbs refused to back down in his pursuit of justice, working with racist cops and delivering one of the most famous slaps in cinema history.
Gillespie? Yeah. You saw it.
I saw it.
Well, what are you gonna do about it?
I don't know.
Richard Nixon, The Conversation.
Come on, Harry. Show and tell. How'd you do it?
For God's sake, Harry, tell him.
Following a surveillance expert played by Gene Hackman, The Conversation was a twisting thriller that came out at the perfect time to capture what the nation was experiencing. Hackman's character, Henry, accidentally stumbles across a crime, leading to a crisis of conscience about what to do with damning evidence.
He'd kill us if he got the chance.
Despite being written years earlier and wrapping filming before many details about the Watergate break-in had come to light, the parallels between the film and the scandal were eerie. Facts about how Republicans had illegally wiretapped and how Nixon had covered up the evidence during his 1972 campaign were coming to light during the film's theatrical run. Ironically, even the audio equipment used in the film was the same used at Watergate.
He got you, Harry.
And if you loved him and you were patient with him, and even though he didn't dare ever tell you anything about himself personally, even though he may have loved you, would you?
Gerald Ford, All the President's Men.
Cover-up had little to do with Watergate. It was mainly to protect the covert operations. It leads everywhere. Get out your notebook. There's more.
Thanks to Nixon's resignation, as well as former VP Spiro Agnew's own due to separate corruption charges, Gerald Ford became the first person to ever become president without being elected to either office. He stepped into the presidency as trust in the institution was at an all-time low, as Watergate, along with the final days of the Vietnam War, had eroded public faith.
I see. Were there any other checks, sir, that you might be aware of that could have come?
That's all I had to say.
Mr. McGregor. Mr. Dahlberg. I'm sorry, thank you very much.
This was reflected in the films of the time, particularly Network, which followed the machinations of a fictional TV studio.
I want you to get up right now and go to the window, open it, and stick your head out and yell, "I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not gonna take this anymore!"
Commenting even more directly on corrupt offices, however, was All the President's Men, detailing how two real reporters were instrumental in breaking the Watergate scandal. The film stood as an example of the power of the press to fight corruption.
The cover-up had little to do with the break-in. It was to protect covert operations and the covert activities involving the entire U.S. intelligence community.
Did Deep Throat say that people's lives are in danger?
Yes.
What else did he say?
He said everyone is involved.
Jimmy Carter, Invasion of the Body Snatchers.
Lock the door. Lock the door.
They're coming! They're coming! Help! Help! They're coming!
While the 1956 original played on American fears of outsiders, namely communism and the Soviet Union, the remake of Invasion of the Body Snatchers played on paranoia about our own neighbors. Over the decades, many Americans began to feel as if they had lost their sense of individuality, while the revolutionaries of the 1960s slowly conformed. Jimmy Carter's single term was marred by stagflation, as inflation and consumerism ran rampant, a phenomenon harshly criticized by the film. The former hippies, many of whom would have voted for Carter after decrying Nixon and Ford's conservative policies, had lost their drive, something made explicit in Invasion of the Body Snatchers, where they were replaced with actual pod people. Ronald Reagan, RoboCop.
What did you think? That you were an ordinary police officer? You're our product. And we can't very well have our products turning against us, can we?
In office from 1981 to 89, former actor Ronald Reagan defined the 80s with his economic ideals and conservative values taking hold of the nation. His policies, which drove income inequality and corporate greed, were reflected in films like Wall Street, which famously coined the phrase, "Greed is good."
Greed, for lack of a better word, is good.
However, the films of the 80s were louder, more violent, and action-driven than the largely auteur new Hollywood films of the 70s. The decade was perfectly summed up in the hyper-violent RoboCop, with his condemnation of Reaganomics, corporate greed, gentrification, and police overreach.
Thank you for your cooperation. Good night.
However, its perfect satire and political commentary were far from the only thing it had going for it. RoboCop was one of the best and bloodiest action films of the decade.
Dead or alive, you are coming with me.
George H.W. Bush, Do the Right Thing.
Hey, it was with this hand that Cain iced his brother. Love. These 5 fingers, they go straight to the soul of man.
Unlike In the Heat of the Night, set in the rural South, Do the Right Thing focused on racial tension and inequality in a major metropolitan area, New York City. Spike Lee's film, which also saw the director in the lead role, focused on the strain between Black and Italian-American residents on the hottest day of the year.
Anyway, Minister Farrakhan always talks about the so-called day when the black man will rise. We will one day, what does he say? We will one day rule the earth as we did in our glorious past?
Yeah, that's right.
What past you talking about? I mean, what did I miss?
We started civilization.
The tension and tragedy seen in the film reflected circumstances for many Americans in large cities that had to deal with gentrification, racism, and police brutality that were intensified by Bush Sr., keeping policies in line with his predecessor. Life would imitate art later in Bush's term, when, after Rodney King was beaten and officers using excessive force were acquitted, riots erupted in Los Angeles. Bill Clinton, The Truman Show.
He's back to his old self.
Oh my God.
Thanks to the recent rise of reality TV and the early days of internet access, distorted information was on the rise during the Clinton years. People began to question if what they were seen and told could be believed, and a number of films in the late 90s ran with that theme. Many featured men questioning the seemingly idyllic suburban life around them, and none did this more perfectly than The Truman Show.
Why don't you let me fix you some of this new Mococo drink? All natural cocoa beans from the upper slopes of Mountain Nicaragua, no artificial sweeteners.
What the hell are you talking about? Who are you talking to?
Living his entire life as the star of a reality TV show he wasn't aware existed, the film chronicles Truman's search for the truth. While being a grounded critique of the time's media landscape, it's also an existential journey about self-discovery, religion, consumerism, and so much more.
Who are you? I am the creator of a television show that gives hope and joy and inspiration to millions.
Then who am I?
You're the star.
George W. Bush, Zodiac.
The handwriting is the closest that we have ever come to a match.
Rick didn't draw any posters.
No, he drew this one.
Mr. Graysmith, I do the posters myself. It's my handwriting.
No president's tenure was as defined by a single day as George W. Bush's was by September 11, 2001. The events of that day and the response to it defined the nation during Bush's 2 terms. Bush's war on terror saw the country grappling with an enemy that was nebulous and with an ideology for inflicting violence that they did not understand.
Don't move. I want your money and your car keys.
Okay. We're not gonna do anything, okay? We're gonna cooperate. Just tell me what you want us to do.
Despite being set decades earlier, the hunt for the nefarious serial killer, known only as the Zodiac, showed the paranoia and obsession the country experienced. Zodiac featured a talented ensemble cast, headed by Jake Gyllenhaal in a career-defining role as Robert Graysmith. The film details Graysmith falling further into his single-minded desire to catch the killer as the world largely moved on.
I'm not the Zodiac. And if I was, I certainly wouldn't tell you.
Barack Obama, The Social Network.
You're gonna go through life thinking that girls don't like you because you're a nerd. And I want you to know from the bottom of my heart that that won't be true. It'll be because you're an asshole.
By the 2008 presidential election, the media landscape had changed forever, and Obama's willingness to utilize social media paid dividends for him. Thanks in large part to he and his team building engagement on sites like Twitter and, of course, Facebook, he captured the primary and eventually the general election.
$1 million isn't cool. You know what's cool? You.
billion.
The way we engaged with not just politics, but other people had changed forever as a result of these social media sites. Thus, The Social Network became a defining film of the era, not just because of how it chronicled the rise of Facebook, it also showed how people started to see each other by telling a story of betrayal, the rise of tech bros, and the cult of personality that dominated those spaces.
You better lawyer up, asshole, because I'm not coming back for 30%. I'm coming back for everything.
Donald Trump, first term, Get Out.
Now you're in the sunken place.
Released just weeks into Trump's initial term, Get Out captured the fear and unease that many, particularly minorities, felt. However, the horror film was not simply critical of conservatives, but of progressives and white liberals seeking to commodify and use black bodies.
Where are those keys, Rose?
You know I can't give you the keys, right, babe?
With elements of body horror and psychological thriller, it followed a black man, Chris, visiting his white girlfriend's family, where he was in danger of losing his identity and becoming a prisoner in his own body.
What I want is deeper. I want your eye, man. I want those things you see through.
The original ending, where Chris was arrested, was even changed. Director Jordan Peele realized it was truer, but that audiences needed a little hope with a happy ending.
We handle shit. That's what we do. Consider this situation a handle.
Joe Biden, Oppenheimer. Chronicling the life of J. Robert Oppenheimer, the man who helped create the atomic bomb, Christopher Nolan's epic was powerful and harrowing. The film is non-chronological, alternating between the exciting and hopeful time in Oppenheimer's life and the hearings years later, where he was stymied by bureaucracy.
Would you have been opposed to the dropping of a thermonuclear weapon on Japan because of moral
Yes,
scruples?
I believe I would, sir.
Or did you oppose the dropping of an atomic bomb on Hiroshima because of moral scruples?
We set forth our...
No, you. I'm asking you.
I set forth our arguments against dropping it, but I did not endorse them.
Those elements were reflective of a country that was embracing science in order to claw its way out of a pandemic, but that was met with challenges from those acting in bad faith. While initially hopeful that his life's work had prevented evil, the film ends with a sense of dread for Oppenheimer that something even worse was coming, a feeling familiar to many who saw what was on the horizon for US politics.
When I came to you with those calculations, we thought we might start a chain reaction that would destroy the entire world.
I remember it well. What happened?
I believe we did.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications.
Donald Trump, second term, one battle after another.
I need a weapon, man. All you got is damn nunchucks. You know where I can get a gun?
Almost immediately, Donald Trump's return to the presidency was marked by seemingly endless attempts at an expansion of executive power, alongside mass deportations.
Have some of these raids gone too far?
No, I think they haven't gone far enough because we've been held back by the judges, by the liberal judges that were put in by Biden and by Obama.
One battle after another is about those resisting the overreach and oppression of the administration, as a washed-up revolutionary and his daughter are targeted.
What time is it?
You know, I don't remember that part. All right, let's just not nitpick over the password stuff. Look, this is Bob Ferguson, all right? You just called my house.
As military troops led by a would-be white supremacist leader descend on a sanctuary city, aggressively agitating and kidnapping people to cover their own agenda, the people fight back. It accurately portrays the power grabs and abuses of current times, as well as the spirit of those fighting back, while being one of the best action thrillers in years.
Me and Mom used to run around and do some real bad shit. They got hurt, now they're coming after us.
Which films do you think perfectly describe these presidential terms? Let us know in the comments below.